First thing that stood out about the 2008 SEC Championship game and the Georgia Dome in Atlanta was the atmosphere. It was a national championship game atmosphere. It was in reality a semifinal for the winner advancing to the BCS title game, but it felt like it was the national championship. And it's a great atmosphere at the Georgia Dome for a big game anyway, but when you throw the stakes that this game had in there, every play had that kind of tension that it could decide who was going to play for and probably win the national championship.
You know, it was such a big game with Alabama and Florida. You knew going in last year that the national championship was on the line for both teams. What struck me, just kind of the gravity of it, walking into the Georgia Dome about 2 hours before the game, I walked by a scalper who unloaded a pair of tickets in the upper deck in the end zone, basically the worst seats in the house, for $800. So that kind of grabbed my attention right there. What a big game it was. Those are Super Bowl. That's almost Super Bowl money, really, for a pair of tickets. And if they were, you know, that bad, you knew that a 50-yard line seat in the lower bowl was probably twice that or more. So certainly as big a game as the college football game has seen.
I would start with the fact that early on it became apparent that Alabama had enough speed to compete with Florida speed and to match Florida speed. And I wasn't sure that was going to be the case going into the game. Alabama was the more physical team, I think, in the trenches, especially for the first 3 quarters. And I expected that, but I didn't expect Alabama's skill speed on both sides of the ball to be able to match Florida's speed. Also, I found it pretty interesting and was a little surprised, wasn't sure going in whether it would be the case, that Alabama could run the ball on Florida. And Glenn Coffey had a really, really good day. Mark Ingram had a nice role, you know, coming in, spelling Coffey off the bench, and Alabama was able to move the football.
Jumped out to a big first quarter lead, 7-0.
I remember Florida getting the ball after Alabama's first possession. I think went 3 and out, and Alabama punted. And Florida took the ball down the field just like bam. Scored a touchdown. Tebow, one of those third down passes. At that point, I think everybody in the arena, everybody at the Georgia Dome, in the press box, on the sidelines, in the stands, is wondering if Alabama can match that or if Alabama is overmatched.
Alabama came back. It kind of went back and forth. Alabama had a really critical drive in answering Florida's first touchdown. Alabama comes back basically with a 2-play drive that hit Julio Jones on a post pattern, and he eats up, I want to say, 40, 50 yards on that play and got the ball down near Florida's end. And then Glenn Coffey takes it in from there on a long touchdown run. So really in 2 plays, Alabama jumps back into the game.
And at that point, everybody in that arena and on both sidelines and in the press box knew that this was for real and that Alabama could play with the Florida Gators.
Nothing says we're going to be here all day like a 2-play touchdown drive that goes almost the length of the field. So critical sequence for Alabama to kind of get back into the game there.
And Alabama proceeded to outplay Florida for the next 2 quarters up until the start of the 4th quarter, and that's when Florida took over the football game.
One key play was a long completion from Tebow to Riley Cooper. He was able to get loose down the sideline for a deep ball that ended up resulting in points for the Gators. That was a key play there that Alabama never exactly recovered from. And another one, of course, a face masking penalty on Dont'a Hightower on a key 3rd down possession, a swing pass out to John Demps. Hightower gets over and made the play, got a piece of Demps' face mask, got flagged for it, and of course it would have been a punting situation for the Gators had Hightower been able to make that stop without grabbing the face mask. As it was, Florida gets a 1st down off the penalty, then goes in for points. So those plays certainly made a big difference in the second half for UF.
The big plays that emerged in the game happened, but Florida wasn't able to just blitzkrieg Alabama with bomb after bomb. Obviously, Tim Tebow played a fantastic game. He threw 3 touchdown passes, all of them on 3rd down. He was able to make that Florida could finish their drives, whereas Alabama settled for a couple of field goals in situations. And Tebow kind of took over the game in the fourth quarter, certainly for the Florida offense, and really the Florida defense took over the game in the fourth quarter.
Throughout the game, and Florida, led by Tim Tebow, of course, scores 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to kind of put it away. Final score 31-20, and really Tebow's ability to convert third downs in crucial situations, particularly in the red zone, was really the primary factor in Florida coming away with the victory there and winning a national championship.